What's going on, Ram fans? Busy week here at Rams Up. Short week, Rams 49ers Thursday night, of course. Makes it challenging to get some of this regular content out. But I am going to share with you my Week 15 power rankings, and then I'm going to roll right into my Rams Up Straight Up picks for Week 15, see how I did last week, and then what do I have for this week on those straight up picks. First, let's get to the power rankings. Well, first we have some changes in the green room. Going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. Wow, I'm really disappointed in you guys. Had you elevated into the top 12 just a few weeks ago. I think I had you at 9 or 10. You guys were just humming along and man, blown some tires here. And they are quickly falling out of the NFC West race. Well, really not. I mean, they're probably going to go on a 2-game winning streak here with the Patriots and Panthers on their schedule, but still very disappointed. And I have dropped them out of my green room. So they were in the green room, into the top 12, back into the green room, and now out completely. Maybe they'll be back. We'll see. And one team that remains in the green room, the Washington Commanders, they were there last week and they are still there. And they were with only 2 teams in my green room last week, the Cardinals and the Commanders. But I have 3 teams that I have moved up out of no man's land into the green room. That would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers suddenly leading the NFC South, the San Francisco 49ers, who pummeled the Chicago Bears. How much should we make of that? I don't know. Not sure. Bears are kind of a dumpster fire a little bit. I hate that term, but they're kind of leaning in that direction, aren't they? 49ers dominate both sides of the ball, so maybe they're coming to life. And our Los Angeles Rams, got to give them credit, beating a top-tier team, one of the elite teams in the NFL. And I know the Bills, that was a challenge for them to fly across the country and take on a team that was playing really well offensively anyways. But you got to give the Rams some credit, right? They pulled it off, so they're back in the green room with a 7-6 record. So 4 teams in the green room, the Commanders, Rams, 49ers, and Bucks. Now, my number 12, 11, 10, 9, and 8 team, no changes. The Texans were on a bye. They're still at number 12. The Broncos, also on a bye, remain at my number 11 team. My number 10 team, the LA Chargers, not dinging them at all for losing to Kansas City. You know, man, life as a Charger fan is really, really difficult. I was having this conversation with a longtime Charger fan the other day, how really thrilling and fun it can be to be a Rams fan. I mean, we have our down years, but we also have a lot of up years, right? Over the years, over the seasons. And the Chargers, man, just constantly losing games in the closing minutes. Their kicker clunking balls off the post and such. And now they go into Kansas City, such an important game for them. And the Chiefs kicker, well, he hits the post, but what happens? That's right, it clunks through the uprights, giving the Chiefs the win. I'm not dinging the Chargers at all, though. They're still my number 10 team. And the Seahawks, I'm keeping them at number 9. Really impressive win, taking care of the Cardinals, but not enough for me to elevate them over my number 8 team, the Baltimore Ravens. They are 8-5, and didn't see this coming. 2 games behind the Steelers. They are in trouble, at least as far as the divisional title goes. And that's the thing about the AFC. It's almost like the 7 playoff teams are almost determined here. I mean, the Colts and the Dolphins, an outside chance, but man, not real likely in my opinion. I think we know what we're going to get in the AFC playoffs. Maybe not the exact pecking order, but the 7 teams anyways. Dolphins fans aren't going to like hearing that, but I think that is the case. Dropping 2 spots from number 5 to number 7, the Green Bay Packers. And it's really about what my new number 5 and 6 teams did. The Steelers moving up 1 spot from 7 to number 6, a really impressive win over the Browns. And the Vikings, number 6 to number 5 now. And why? Because, well, the Falcons came to town. It was a really close game for a while there, and then the Vikings turned it on to control that game at home. So the Packers dropping 2 spots, and I'm not really trying to ding the Packers for poor play, anything like that. I just think right now, I mean, look at the Vikings are 11-2, the Steelers are 10-3. Pretty impressive. Packers sitting at 9-4. My number 4 team dropping 1 spot, the Philadelphia Eagles, really struggling to put away the Carolina Panthers. And, this is what happened to the Eagles last year. It was much more drastic, fell off really bad. Eagles, I don't know, since that game against the Rams, not too convincing. And the Buffalo Bills, I dropped them 1 spot from number 2 to number 3. And why? Well, they lost. They lost to a 6-6 team, the now 7-6 Rams on the road. They played really well, but gave up 42 points to the Rams. I don't know, should we celebrate the Rams for putting up those kinds of points on a good team like the Bills, or do we have some concerns about the Bills defense? I'm not sure, but I'm dinging them 1 spot is all. I think that's fair. And my new number 2 team, the Kansas City Chiefs, leapfrogging the Eagles and Bills, and really been unimpressed with the Chiefs offense, especially all year long, but they're getting the W's. They're unimpressive, but they're finding ways to win close games. That could help them a lot in the playoffs, dealing with those close games. Not that they really need any help. They've done this before. This is just, old news for the Kansas City Chiefs, winning close games. They're doing it in the regular season this time around, and they'll probably do it in the playoffs as well. And still hanging in there at number 1, the Detroit Lions. I don't think there's any question about it. That's where they belong, right above the Chiefs. Now, last time I did this, I talked about my Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. My Tier 1 is really limited to 3 teams at this point, the Lions, Chiefs, and Bills, dropping the Eagles to my Tier 2, along with the Vikings, Steelers, and Packers. And my Tier 3 teams, the Ravens, dropping into that group, along with the Seahawks, Chargers, Broncos, and Texans. Man, it is down to the wire here in the NFL. 4 games remaining. Things are about to get crazy, I think. Let's get into my Week 15 Rams Up straight up game picks. First, let's look at how last week went. Pete and I were incorrect on the Jags-Titans game, the Seahawks-Cardinals game, and the Rams-Bills game. That's right, I picked the Bills. What was I thinking? The first time in 3 decades, I should have rolled with the Rams. Shame on me, and it cost me. Could have moved up 1 more on Pete. There are 2 games we disagreed on. One of them went his way. That was the Chiefs over the Chargers. Really thought the Chargers would pull that out. And then he picked the Giants over the Saints. I have no idea why. So we split those. So what does that mean? We both went 9-4 last week. Fair to middling. And I maintain an 8-pick lead over him. I have correctly picked 136 games. 72 incorrect to Pete's 128 and 80. Feel pretty confident that I can finish this season ahead of him at this point with only 4 weeks left. So what about Week 15? Thursday night, I am picking the Rams. Learned my lesson last week, and it's not going to be easy. This is going to be a coin flip game. 49ers are better than their 6-7 record would indicate, and they're getting a couple guys back maybe. Cowboys at the Panthers, man. Cowboys must be so deflated. I know they are deflated. Micah Parsons in the locker room after that loss to the Bengals. That was a pretty sad moment, actually. But I am taking the Cowboys to pick up the road win. Chiefs at Browns. Well, Chiefs will win a nail-biter. Dolphins at the Texans. Texans coming off a bye, and I think they'll get the win here. Really important game. Could pretty much end the Dolphin season. And the Texans, we were all excited about them, but have been somewhat disappointing over the last month or so. The Jets at the Jags. Now, Trevor Lawrence won't go, so I guess it's going to be Mac Jones. And I'm going to take the Jets. This is a tough one. Not a fan of what's going on in New York, but the Jags are just what the doctor ordered. Commanders at the Saints. Commanders coming off a bye as well. And if Derek Carr was healthy, I would go with the Saints. It's either going to be Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler. I will take the Commanders for the road win. Ravens at the Giants, another road team gets the win there. Bengals at the Titans, yet another road team. The Bengals gets the win. Patriots at the Cardinals. That will be a feisty Patriots team on the road. Cardinals, really poor performance last week against the Seahawks, but they get the win to stay in the playoff hunt. Colts at the Broncos, another extremely important game. Colts trying to catch the Texans, the Broncos fighting for a high wild card seed. The Broncos win this one. Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. Talk about a marquee game, potential Super Bowl preview, and second straight road game for the Bills, and the Lions playing really good football. I could go either way on this, but I'm just going to take the home team. When in doubt, take the home team. Buccaneers at the Chargers, kind of the same deal. Baker Mayfield returns to SoFi. Not sure if Ladd McConkey is going to be able to go. They really need him. The rookie wide receiver is an important part of that offense, an offense that is missing J.K. Dobbins as well, right? But Chargers get the win at home. If the Bucs can win this, big step forward towards an NFC South championship with the Falcons floundering. Battle of Pennsylvania, Steelers at the Eagles. A lot of people down on the Eagles. Well, Vegas apparently isn't. I thought that 4.5-point spread was a little high. Steelers offense is starting to roll. I am going to take the home team here, though. This will be a really fun game. Probably a little lower scoring than you would expect. Steelers defense will give Jalen Hurts fits, but Eagles come out on top, and this is another coin flip game. When in doubt, take the home team. Packers at the Seahawks, two teams that I think are not as good as their record shows. And Seattle's a tough place to play, but Seattle coming off a dominant performance in Arizona. 12th man aside, I take the Packers to win this. Maybe picking more with my heart than my head. This would be really big for the Rams if the Seahawks take it on the chin here. The Bears at the Vikings, man, Bears, you get that interim coach, this surge of energy to play for them, and then it slowly dissipates, and the Vikings will hammer the Bears. Falcons at the Raiders. This is a game the Raiders could get a win, could steal a win here. This is the type of team they could rise to the occasion and beat, but Falcons have a lot to play for. If the Bucs win their game and Atlanta loses here, they are in deep trouble, so I am taking the Falcons. That's it. That's my Rams Up Straight Up picks. We'll check in next week, see how I did.